Hey, KSSU, this is our Alumni Spotlight number 3, and we have one of our alumni here with us. Again, I'm Bronte, I'm the KSSU Promo and Events Coordinator here with you, and for those who may not know you yet, can you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Danielle McKinney. I'm a Sac State alum, and I am thrilled to be here today.
Awesome, and kind of tell us a bit about yourself and what your role was here at KSSU.
Yeah, so rewinding a bit, I transferred to Sac State after I did 2 years at community college, and I majored in journalism. And one of the things that was really important to me as I was studying and deciding what ways I wanted to storytell is to explore all the different modalities. So I had gotten a lot of news writing experience through time doing the student newspaper at Sac City College, and I didn't really feel like I had enough opportunity to do broadcast, and that was something that was always really appealing to me. As far back as I can remember being a kid, I loved listening to the radio, and when I found out that Sac State had a student-run radio, I was like, oh my gosh, how can I be a part of it? And so I reached out and got the information, turned it into an internship during my time here. And I think the thing that I loved the most about it was the freeform element, right? So coming from a journalistic background, there's a lot of ways that you write or interview people, and so to be able to have a little bit more of a creative freedom in being a part of KSSU was just really appealing to me. So I jumped right in and was met with kindness. Everyone in the studio and part of the KSSU team was so thoughtful and helpful in teaching me the ropes of how to do things, and it was just one of my best experiences when I look back on my kind of college journey.
Awesome. And I love that, when you're involved with KSSU, it translates to so many different things. If you work in broadcast, a lot of people work at the State Hornet, or they translated those skills over there. So there's kind of that back and forth, and it all kind of is interconnected on campus.
Exactly. That overlap.
Awesome. And you mentioned your show Flux Friday, and what was your vision behind that show, and how did you come up with that name?
Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to combine some sort of longer form interviewing with whatever show that I was going to do. And I don't remember how I came up with Flux Friday, but I had gotten the idea to invite people to come and talk about either a big change that they are going through or had been through, and kind of how did they overcome that. I am always been really drawn to hearing people's personal stories or testimonials, and wanted to just kind of create a platform for people to share their stories, if they would want to, and kind of with the hope that someone would maybe be able to hear themselves in an interview, or hear something that resonates. And times of change and trials in people's lives can sometimes lead to some really beautiful things, and to be able to highlight and showcase those stories is hope and power. And I think I chose Flux Friday, I guess, because flux means change, and my show was on Fridays. So it was Flux Friday, bring in a guest to talk about, what you've been through, what you're going through. And it was mostly what folks had, been through. No one was coming out actively going through, trials. But it was just, I think it's just a really cool experience as a journalist, and as someone who talks to people for a living, to, be able to create a safe space for someone to share some of kind of their most vulnerable or intimate stories. I had someone come on the show and talk about their coming out experience. Someone approached me who had been a like teen mom and was a single mother and was like, I want to come on the show and like talk about that. And I was like, wow, like what a privilege and honor to be able to facilitate space for that conversation. And so, and then weaving that with music because you have the ability to do so at the radio station. So I don't know, it was so fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, that's such like, you know, the journalism point of view, and yeah, being able to do that, I can definitely see like why you do what you do today, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And then like going back to like you said you're playing music and you're also interviewing, like how did you interweave both of those, like doing the interviews or those, you know, heavy stories and then transitioning to having your music and all of that in your show?
So most of the times I would pre-record the interviews. So that gives you, I guess, a little bit of flexibility. There were a couple of guests who wanted to come and join me live in the studio, which is always fun too. But how I would kind of do it is I would identify, you know, who's my source or my feature, if you will, who am I interviewing, run the interview, like record that on my off time, and then when I was in the studio, as I'm introducing my show, play some music, we're going to hear from so-and-so later, play the interview, play some more music, and then that usually was about time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We've only got an hour, so.
Yeah, that's a good balance.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned you helped organize alumni broadcast during KSSU's 30th anniversary. What was that like? And then bringing in like the different generations of KSSU voices together as now we're celebrating the 35th anniversary.
It feels full circle. I think one of the things I loved about coming and being a part of KSSU was that I was not good at it at first. Like the first show that I ran, I like choked when it was like time to start. Like not actually choked, but I was nervous to like talk on air, and it felt so high stakes, and I didn't know how to work the equipment, and I forgot to press record, or it didn't work, you know. And to be able to have an experience of being not good at something and then like kind of conquering that or learning how to do it, that's empowering. And so really kind of my whole time at KSSU was like building up to that. And so then like being asked like, okay, help facilitate the alumni interviews, I was like, yes, okay, come on in. And it was funny because like those folks were doing kind of the same thing that I was doing, right? But just at a different time. But then they didn't know how to use the equipment. And so that's why like we were there to help make sure everything's running smoothly. And like similarly, I probably would need a refresher on the equipment like today, you know what I mean? Like, so it was just like cool to see that KSSU has such a long-standing history of freeform radio, student-run radio, and to see everyone's different like personality shine through in the shows and the music they're playing, and to hear about the alumni who were part of it long before I even knew KSSU was happening, and then to be able to help them run their show, and then now to be back here as the alumni talking about it, it just feels so cool. And yeah, I don't know. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it really is full circle, and it's like, you know, we've been running for so many years, and it's like, you know, who knows, like maybe I'll be sitting in that chair and another student will be interviewing me, so, and it just keeps going.
Yeah, I was just like, so honestly, I was touched when you reached out and asked if you guys could spotlight me. I was like, absolutely. And when you said you want to come in for an honor interview, like, yes. I don't know, it just, KSSU is a big part of my journey, and helped me feel more confident in my personal voice and the way I'm showing up in the world and the way I'm highlighting others and making space for others. And so it just feels just lovely to be back here and to know that this is like still continuing on. Like KSSU had a history long before us, and hopefully will continue on because it's providing such a great service, I think, to young people as they're exploring what they want to do, and yeah, how do they want to be in the world? How do they want to storytell?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I feel the same way. And to piggyback off of like what you carried with you, like how did being part of like the student-led radio and like the creativity that went into it, like how did that give you like the confidence or like, you know, your leadership style like today?
I think because it gave me the space to be a newbie at it, right? I talked a little bit about feeling like I didn't know what I was doing at first. And so that process, yeah, that did give me the confidence, really, to be like, oh, okay, I can learn something that's hard. I can help teach others that and lead with empathy and compassion, and maybe part of some of my leadership style, if you will, would maybe just be like in my personality or something. But having the experience of like true peer-to-peer collaboration to create something, there's just nothing like that. And I think that collaboration, that co-creation is really at the heart of a lot of really important work. And so my experience with KSSU of being the person who needed to be trained, to then being the trainee, to then carrying the skills and confidence with me into my professional world and personal world, yeah, I think really just like, yeah, that power of collaboration is, and that opportunity to work together was something that I'm always like, I'm still seeking for that. I love collaborating with others. I love making something together, and I think that's an important part of leadership. And that's like I don't know, at the kind of heart of KSSU, I feel like, or even when I think back when I have done like student newspaper and stuff, it really kind of takes a village and a team to produce something and put something out there. And I think also KSSU, like, this is almost your first kind of like professional experience with broadcasting, like, or it is an opportunity to have like a professional thing on your resume that like, I know how to do broadcast, I can run interviews, I can do something live on the air. And sometimes like the name of an organization associated with what you're doing, that gives you the confidence too. Like when you're reaching out as, hey, I'm a DJ at KSSU and I want to spotlight you on my show, people are like, wow, really? Me? And you're like, yes, like you have something to share and I want to highlight it. So I don't know, that was kind of like a long answer to the question. I think there was like a lot of things, but yeah, KSSU really did give me confidence because I think it gave me the space to learn and grow into that, you know?
Yeah, and you know, there's so many student internships. I mean, there's a lot of ones with ASI and KSSU, and I just posted like my own job posting because you know I'm about to graduate. But when I'm looking at like applying to new jobs and seeing, because I'm specifically looking at the music industry and like seeing like all the skills and those things that you mentioned, and like leading with empathy and even just the production skills and, you know, the radio skills, like that really carries, and it really helps students who don't have any experience to, you know,
it's critical.
Put that in there.
That's gonna be a bright spot on your resume. I know it really was on mine, and yeah, there's just so many, I don't know what your major is, but comms, yeah. Okay, yeah, comms, journalism. I feel like there's just so many skills that you're gonna learn that no matter what you do are gonna serve you. And so
yeah, I love that. And then like you're now the executive director of the California Press Foundation. Can you tell us more about that path and how you came to that from KSSU or Sac State in general?
Yeah, absolutely. So the California Press Foundation is a long-standing organization, almost 150 years old, and we support student journalism all throughout the state, at all levels. So middle schools, high schools, community colleges, and universities. We've got a couple of different grant programs, really all in an effort to strengthen the pipeline from education into the industry. So we need journalists, we need journalism, it's essential for our democracy. How can we make sure students have like a clean pathway into that and are funded and supported? We have an internship grant program that helps provide that hands-on newsroom experience for college students. And we have an equipment grant program that helps student newsrooms upgrade their gear. So buy cameras, software, microphones. The asks have really ranged over the years, especially as technology is sweeping all industries, but especially journalism. And every day I just feel so grateful that I get to be doing this great work championing student journalism and making an impact on journalism in California. I had mentioned that I got my degree in journalism, and when I had transferred to Sac State, it was spring 2020, you may remember
Yeah.
it. And I just transferred from Sac City, and I had landed a newsroom internship at Capital Public Radio. And I thought I was so cool, I was getting bylines, I was on the news desk. They let me record some clips, like it was a great experience. And I remember getting a call on my day off. The pandemic had broken at this point, and it was from my editor. And I was like, they're calling me in, they need help, this is my time, they need reporters. And they were actually calling just to let me know that they were canceling the internship program. They would still pay me my stipend, but like operations are shuttering, we're headed home, like we don't have the ability to provide you with
Resources,
the experience that you deserve, essentially. I was devastated. I was devastated. I was like, no, because oftentimes I think, especially in journalism, your path with it kind of does matter, you know, and so you need that internship. You need those bylines to be able to show, here's the work that I've done, especially coming from, you know, the student newspaper and things like that. And so, pandemic changed things, I think, for a lot of people. The campus went remote, classes went online, and I really had to pivot and take a look at what's happening, what am I doing? I have all these skills, but there's just not opportunity for me right now, just given the circumstances of the world. And so I started offering my, like, kind of, I was freelancing, doing some articles here and there for local outlets like Comstock's Magazine, the News and Review, and more just like to try and keep getting that experience or bylines on my resume. And I realized I needed to kind of pivot, and I had some former advisors reach out to me and say, hey, there's this organization called the California Press Foundation. They don't have any social media. They they need some help, and I thought you would be a great person to help with that. And I was like, wow, I would love to talk to them. What a great organization. And so I actually started with the Press Foundation while I was still a college student.
Oh, wow.
And on a super, super, super part-time, limited basis, I built them social media profiles, we did a website redesign, worked on, you know, marketing and content strategy, things like that. And over time, that role grew and developed. A few years ago, and then at a certain point I had graduated from Sac State. I still had a number of kind of freelance clients and was doing all sorts of things, storytelling and media related, including but not limited to like email marketing and social media.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, Cal Press had launched a big fellowship in the name of a journalist named Tim Cruz, who went to jail for not revealing a source. And anyways, there was this big search for the fellow, and I was like, hey, board of directors, would it be appropriate if I applied? Like, I'm loving this work. And they're like, yes, apply for the fellowship. I got the fellowship, and then eventually that materialized into the full-time role. And they made me the executive director in September of 2024. Wow. So I've been with, thank you. I've been with the organization for a long time, and I feel really, I don't know, it like warms my heart that like Cal Press and my directors like saw something in me to invest in, to see me as someone who can help lead the organization in a new direction. I had mentioned that the organization had been around for a really long time, and it's been kind of a sleepy organization, and you know, we're really working on expanding our fundraising efforts so that we can show up bigger and stronger for the students throughout the state. And so that's kind of like, my scope of work is quite vast, but really is all centered in, how can we provide students with resources and opportunities and help them have the confidence to pursue a career in the news industry if that's what they would like to do. And so I don't know, when I mentioned that, like, every day I feel so grateful for this work that I get to do for so many reasons, but especially because, like, I felt like my path was disrupted in journalism. Like, I think a long time ago I thought, I will be a reporter and do the news, and it's cool to be working to help students not fall off that path. Like, arguably, the pandemic could have been a great time for me to be interning somewhere. Like, they could have had someone who would work for little to no pay and, like, have extra additional resources in the newsroom, but it's just the infrastructure, it wasn't supported, and so it's just like all the work that I'm doing feels really exciting because it's all about, like, making something stronger and building it so that it will continue to last.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And it's like everything, I know, like, some people hate this, but everything happens for a reason, and if something didn't work out, that had to happen for where you are now.
I know,
so
thank goodness.
all of those things have to happen. And it's like, and also, like you mentioned, starting off in social media, and that's just so difficult,
Yeah.
if we're, the college student coming out, like, always doing being the social media person, and then working your way up that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. And then, like, in your role now, because you talked about, like, leadership skills, and I know you've built a lot of that, outside of KSSU, but including KSSU in that, like, how do you feel like you transferred any skills you learned in college, whether it's a newspaper and KSSU, to your current role now? Even though that's a big jump.
Yeah. I had talked a little bit about collaboration and working with others and how much I do like that. And I think that's something that I've really, like, carried with me even to the work that I do to this day. So Cal Press has a board of 17. There's a chair, a vice chair, secretary, treasurer, directors, and we have committees and we work on projects. And I think just having an openness to working with others and being able to, like, take constructive criticism and not being attached to the outcome of something for, like, my own self, but realize it's, like, bigger than me. That's something I think that I gained from my time working at KSSU and as a community and as a team, and similarly with being part of the student newspaper as well. Like, it doesn't serve me to be like so attached to the way like I think something should be. I think working at KSSU, and it just gave me the opportunity to hear perspectives outside of myself, and I value that. I'm like, please tell me something I don't know, or show me something, a different way to see it. And so I think that that's something that I definitely like hold close and carry with me, is like an air of collaboration. And like maybe a big part of being a leader is being a team player, I think. And KSSU really did give me that opportunity to feel like I was a part of something and bigger outside of myself. And yeah, that's what I think is probably how it shows up like the most in my everyday work, is yeah, just this want for community and collaboration in projects and work.
Yeah. And you said that it was like, you talked about like full circle moments, and I also feel like this is full circle, like, you know, what you do at KSSU, like the student-led radio and amplifying student voices and everything, and then going and doing that in your career today. And
Yes.
Young people and all of that.
No, totally. Like, I love, like the best part of my work is going and visiting the students and the programs that the foundation is supporting. And to be able to highlight the great work of student journalists, and to be able to make sure that there's the microphones to record the newscast and the cameras to do so, you know, it's a lot of people will say that like journalism is dead or it's dying, and I don't believe that. It's just changing. It's always been changing. It's like we've come a long way from the print press. Like this has been an industry of change, and like students are the future of that, 100%. And yeah, just it is cool to have done, like it makes sense, like my pipeline and the things that I've carried with me. And yeah, there's like nothing like being able to like help people who are truly excited about journalism or storytelling or the community even, you know. And there's a lot of people who believed in me along my journey and supported me and mentored me, and I just like want to pay that forward and back. So
I love that, and you have to be passionate and care about what you do to do what you do. And my last question is, what advice would you give to current KSSU DJs or students who want to build a career in media or journalism?
Oh my goodness, great question. I would say explore any and all of the modalities as much as you can. Like, take the classes you're interested in, learn how to photography, learn how to write newspaper articles, learn how to do feature stories, learn how to go be part of the radio, have a news show on the radio, have a freeform show. Like, now's the time, especially in college, to just like explore all of those different avenues and gain those skills, because those skills are going to serve you for many years to come. And I think I'd also, so I just like encourage anyone who's wants to get involved with the media business, the news business, to pursue it. We need you. We need journalists. We need reporters. We need people on the radio talking about things that people want to hear. And I would also say that it's important to maybe like lead with empathy and let like truth be your compass, kind of, is what I would say. I think if you're coming from that space, you can, that just makes room for, like, good work. I don't know. So I would just, that's what I would encourage. Anyone who's interested in it, do it, pursue it, learn the skills, and then, yeah, like, lead with compassion and empathy, and realize that the people who you're interviewing as a source or bringing on as a guest to talk about something, like, that's a vulnerable and intimate space they're stepping into with you, and what a privilege for you to be able to facilitate and hold that. So I always think about, like, KSSU's, like, motto of, like, kind of like, be yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say to be yourself. Like, there's something unique that you have, anyone has, that no one else can offer or bring to the table, or, like, you're unique, and that's what makes you special. Like, you can learn the skills, you can learn the, you know, the technical side of things, but yeah, really being able to let yourself shine through in your work is what's gonna set you apart and what the world needs.
Mm-hmm.
So be yourself, be kind, pursue the thing if you're feeling called to it, because you don't want to look back and be like, oh, I didn't pursue the thing that I was feeling called to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now's the time to do it, and the world needs you. So
I love that. You have amazing advice, and I'm gonna take that with me.
Oh.
And yeah, thank you so much for
thank you so
coming
much.
here.